Now,
Wow.
there is one song that I was pissed that I didn't get the chance to record.
Let's get to that. Talk to me.
So, there's a song called Irreplaceable.
Wait.
Remember that song?
Not by the...
Correct.
Oh, no!
I put this on everything.
Party people.
I love this.
It's your boy,
My
M.A.
sweats,
and,
my clothes. What this? I thought I told you this is my world, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, party people in the place to be. It's your boy, M.A.Z. Man, what an episode we have for y'all today. Skrills, what's going on, bruh?
Skrills.
Alright, man. The South gonna hold it down as usual.
As always. You know what I mean?
But listen, fuck all that. Listen,
Talk to me.
we've had some illustrious guests.
Yeah, man.
But you know me, bro. It's R&B time.
Yeah. And this is your time to
I'm
shine,
jazz,
man.
bro. I'm jazz. Man.
Look, for people that's seeing this right now, especially in the city of San Antonio, let me paint a picture real quick. The year, for me at least, this is from like 2000 to about 2005 for sure. There's a section on 98.5, The Beat. It's called Heartbeats. Skrills, what time do Heartbeats usually come on?
10 o'clock on the dot.
10 o'clock on the dot. And the guest we have to my right was a frequent artist being played from at least 8 times throughout the night. Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie J is in the building.
What's up?
Man, listen.
Thanks for having me on the show, man.
No, listen. Thank you for taking time out your very, very busy schedule to come kick it with us, man.
Oh, man, it's all love.
It's an honor to have you here, man.
I'm in San Antonio.
You know what I mean?
The 210.
Huh? Let them know.
Let's get it.
Listen, how you been, man?
I've been good. You know, just trying to stay focused
Yeah,
in this thing called life.
for sure.
Life is good. God is good.
Absolutely.
You know, it's been a crazy journey. Crazy times, good times, some bad here and there.
Mm-hmm.
As they say, highs and lows. But I'm still here.
Yeah.
Thanks to the fans. Thanks to, you know, everybody that still continues to, you know, play my music. Shout out to TikTok.
Oh, man, what?
Yeah, man. We'll get to that because there's
Shout
a
out to all
resurgence.
the radio stations as well.
Yeah.
And, of course, all the DJs. Everybody that has continued, man, throughout all these years.
That you've been putting out quality music. Let's be
Man.
clear. Quality people, quality music.
You know what it is? I try not to do the trendy stuff. I stick to myself. I stick to what I know, and that's the way that I've been taught since the jump, since the very beginning. And I feel that that's been a secret to staying in this industry still and having longevity and not trying to follow what everybody else is doing and just sticking to what you know and what makes your fans happy.
Yeah.
You know, being real with the songs that you write, whether, you know, they might be a little too deep
Yeah.
or, you know, whatever. Yeah, I feel like that's been something that I feel like I've been doing right, you know, to stay above water and
Yeah.
you know, in the eyes of the public.
For sure. I think when it comes to, you know, your songwriting skills and your pen and the music that you create, I think that, like you said, I think that's what keeps you afloat is the fact that the music is just real. You can't fake.
Yeah.
You can't fake being authentic.
No, you can't fake the funk.
You know what I'm saying? And then the fact that with the stuff that you make, the music you create, and it hits a certain way, it hits the audience. And that's why I think when it comes to you creating the work of art that you do, that's what makes you stay, you know, relevant and stuff like that to this day.
Appreciate that. I feel like, I mean, you got to be real with yourself.
Yeah.
You got to be real with your fans. You can't be fake.
For sure.
And I feel like the fans know when you are fake, and they know when you're being real.
For sure.
So I'd rather just stick to songs that are real to me, because if they're real to me, they're going to be real to somebody else. They're going to be real to your audience.
Right.
That's just the way that like I said, I've been taught since the very beginning. you got to just pour your heart out when you're writing and come up with some cool melodies that could be sing along type to people. Because you got to also remember, you could be a musician, but your audience might not necessarily be that. So when you're writing, you got to think, what is it going to be like? What's going to make me tick? And what's going to make me, want to go out and perform and have the time of my life while I'm on stage, so that you're taking your audience on a journey.
Right.
And sometimes there's simple songs that are just so easy to sing along, and sometimes there's songs that are a little bit more on the maybe a little bit harder to sing for a regular person, but it's fine. I mean, hey, I grew up with Michael Jackson. I grew up with Brian McKnight. I grew up
heavy
with
hitters.
Stevie Wonder, with all those greats, man. And I tried to mimic a lot of these singers that were out there. I mean, even mentioning like Luis Miguel, who was a great Latino artist who freaking wails like crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I learned so much from a lot of these, singers. So there he is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look at the picture right now. Shout out, Skrills, appreciate you. Nice.
Luis Miguel.
Yeah, I cleaned the house many a days.
Yeah.
To some Luis Miguel, you know what I mean?
I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with Luis Miguel, bro.
100%.
Man, so I guess with that being said, I guess we can get this out the way early, man. No particular order. If you can give me the top 5 R&B artists that influenced you and molded your sound.
Oh, man.
Like I said, no particular order, so no stress.
Brian McKnight for sure.
Wow, okay.
Jodeci.
Ooh, I like where this is going, Skrills.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Forever, my lady.
Oh, my God.
Just like a dream.
Yeah.
Holding you close, keeping you warm.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh,
who
man.
else?
Quick side note, man.
I want to say... Who?
Check out the wardrobe, though. I mean...
Okay, look.
man.
What we doing? Hold on, man. Look at this.
Bro, that right there was 96.
96. Okay, so yeah, you was definitely in your KC Jodeci bag right
Yeah.
there.
I don't know if that was Adidas.
Either way, that's a fly fit right there, Frankie, for sure, for sure.
That's Jodeci right there.
Definitely look like you was about to do some spins in the rain, maybe, what I mean?
Man, exactly. And do the...
Exactly. If you don't do this, like, come on, man.
Yeah. Just grab the air. Let me see who else. Man, Drew Hill.
Okay.
I feel like Drew Hill and Jodeci were kind of, because I feel like Cisco and Casey kind of had a similar tone.
For sure.
Right? Similar sound.
Right.
But yeah, definitely them.
Shout out Drew Hill.
Yeah, shout out Drew Hill. Who else?
So you get, let's see, that's Brian
That's
McKnight.
2, right? That's 3.
Jodeci, Drew Hill, that's 3.
Blackstreet.
Come on, man. Come on.
Bro,
Blackstreet, yeah.
They were on fire
Come on,
in
man.
the 90s.
Absolutely.
I mean, who could forget also Boyz II Men?
Boyz II Men,
That's
yeah.
5.
That's 5. Boyz II Men, one of my favorite R&B groups of all time, for sure.
And mind you, these are just part of my influences. Not all of them.
Yeah.
I don't have all of them yet, but
Sure.
there's so many. There were so many great R&B artists at the time.
Especially in the 90s, man. It was just like, that was like the soundtrack of our lives, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Wanye with those crazy
Come
vocals.
on, man.
Just everybody that was back then. You needed to sing
Yeah.
back then. It wasn't like
Processing and all that.
processing and auto-tune and
Melodyne?
Melodyne. There was none of that stuff.
Nah,
They really had you singing.
for sure.
And this is a perfect example of, all those great singers, man, back then.
Yeah. The 90s was a time. Aaliyah, TLC.
Right. All those singers, man, they all needed to have a voice, talent.
sure.
Tevin Campbell, man.
Oh, my God.
Can we talk for a minute?
Hey.
Girl, I want to know your name. Can we talk for a minute? Yeah, man.
Woo!
those were like great records.
Yeah.
Great memories too.
For sure. Oh man, Saturday mornings all over again, cleaning the house and
cleaning the mesitas and cleaning the bathrooms, clean your room. Like I honestly could not go outside if I didn't clean all those like if I didn't do my chores.
Right.
I could not go outside.
Couldn't go outside. Even though all the friends was running around riding the bikes already and they waiting on you to come outside.
Dude, my mom would whoop us.
Yeah.
There was 4 of us. I'm the middle child, so it was my older brother, Louis, my big sister, Adriana, and my little sister, Ana. Of course, the middle child always gets the worst, I believe.
And my wife is shaking her head, yeah, because she's the middle child too.
We always got the worst, man. We always do. It's crazy because they always. My birthday lands in December, right? December 7th.
Okay.
My older brother's birthday is December 6th. We're exactly 4 years apart. So, and my oldest sister, she is 3 years older than me, and then my youngest sister is 5 years younger than me. So, because our birthdays, my older brother and my birthday, and my older sister's birthday, lands kind of like in the holiday season, like Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
They would always get the best gifts for some reason.
Yeah.
And my older brother did get it too every now and then. But they would say, okay, you want your birthday gift or you want your Christmas gift? I'm like, I want both.
I want both. Why not both?
I want both. But in those days, it was like,
yeah, either one or the other.
One.
Yeah.
And I was like, gosh. Because, you get so excited when you're a kid.
For sure.
When your birthday's coming.
Of course.
But you get even more excited when it's Christmas time because that's when the presents come in.
Exactly. The heavy guns, you know?
I never got all those crazy presents. I always got like 3, 4. And, you see all the other kids getting 5, 6, 7 presents.
Right. Like, and you're like, dang. Like,
Can I get some of that?
For sure.
Yeah, but no, my childhood was good.
That's what it sounded like. Yeah.
It was good.
No, it definitely sounds like it. And then, of course, developing, the love for music, I'm sure, at a young age. Like you said, cleaning the house, listening to the classic music at that time, you know what I mean? The freestyle era that you were a part of.
That was the beginning.
Yeah?
Freestyle era
the beginning was the start of it all, huh?
That was probably... Dude, you want to know something that's crazy is I listened to a lot of new wave and freestyle. New wave at the time was like Depeche Mode, The Cure, New Order, the Psychedelic Furs, Dead or Alive, what else? The Smiths.
Yeah.
You name it. Echo and the Bunnyman.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, who else? There were so many new wave artists that were playing at the time at radio.
Yeah.
And then also freestyle.
Right.
Freestyle was kind of using some of the same exact sounds. But freestyle was also mixed with salsa, with what else? Like, it was very Latin, Latin based.
For sure.
Songs were in English and in Spanish.
Because it was definitely especially the production sound to it. There was a certain sound to it.
There were certain producers, man.
Yeah.
Louis A. Martinet, Carlos Barrios, Mark Liggett, and Chris Barbosa that were really, really responsible for, I think, the very, very first freestyle record. I want to say the very first freestyle song that was ever made, produced, or that was ever a hit was by an artist called Shannon.
Okay.
And it was a song called Let the Music Play. Let the music play.
Right.
It won't get away.
Yeah.
Remember that? That was like the early 80s vibe kind of, and radio was just crazy.
I remember hearing that in my mom's car just wherever we was going.
Oh, man.
That played at least 7 times if I was in the car. Running errands with my mom and all that.
Shannon, Expose, George Lamond, TKA, Cynthia, Lizette Melendez, who else was it? Johnny
B.
O, Stevie B.
For sure.
Stevie B, I think, had at the time party your body, dancing to the morning light, party your body. Dude, he had all these great records. But that's what I grew up with. It was a mixture of so many different genres of music. New wave, freestyle, R&B, cumbias,
Right.
even like all the pop baladas like Los Yonix, Los Bukis, rancheras like Vicente Fernández, Pedro Infante, Los Fabulosos Cadillacs, Los Moonlights. I mean, there were so many different genres of music playing in my household because of my parents.
Right.
And because of my older brother, too.
For sure.
Like, if you ask me what I was influenced by, like, if there was just one certain, genre, I couldn't tell you just one. I was influenced by so many genres.
I could tell just
as a kid.
Yeah, I could tell just from you even talking about it. It's like I feel like you're going down memory lane.
Yeah.
As you're talking about these certain songs, and it's just like, man, like what a time.
I could tell you if you play a record right now, it'll trigger a memory. It triggers a memory of when I was a kid, when I was like 10 years old, 11, 12. I used to wake up to the station out there in San Diego called, it was Q106 at the time.
Okay.
And they were playing, remember Sultan, Supersonic. I don't even know what the heck they were saying. But I used to wake up to those records.
Right.
I used to wake up to all those
just to get your day started. You know what I mean?
And they would play super early in the morning and like 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And you're there getting ready to, for school.
Right.
And, putting on your clothes and your
Making
shoes.
sure you look fresh and all that while the music's going. Yeah,
and,
for sure.
All these different sounds, man, that were just playing all over the house. And I'm like, wow. As a kid, you're listening to all these, songs and all this music. And, you're just kind of soaking it all in.
Yeah.
And you just it's all like coming into your body, like it's all like it's just this weird,
It's these
as a
waves
kid,
and frequencies and all that, and it's
frequencies and waves of music, of sound, and you're just like, wow, what is all this? It's a lot of information being, you're taking it all in,
right?
So yeah, like all that stuff, I was influenced by so many genres of music.
Yeah,
Spanish and English.
And speaking to Spanish, I know we talking about the Kumbia Kings era too.
Yep.
I mean, you can tell I really wasn't jamming the Kumbia Kings like that until I met my wife, and she taught
you about the Kumbia.
Absolutely. I mean, and when I was hearing, I was like, wait, ain't that Frankie J? And she was like, you know what I mean? All that. I'm sitting there trying to get into the line at the Quinces and all that. I was like, yo, can I jump in? And she was like, yeah, come on. And I was like, nah. I was big fronting. You know what I mean? Like, but that's a certain.
But you were grooving.
I was grooving. I was nodding my head. I'm like,
dancing.
I was like, okay, there's a certain sound here, and I like it. You know what I mean?
It's very easy to dance cumbia.
Very easy. You know what I mean? But I'm listening to the music, and I'm like, wait, ain't that Frankie J? She's like, yeah, that was Frankie J. And I'm like, oh, okay. And
so the Kumbia Kings, man, gave me a platform. To be honest with you, I didn't even know I was gonna be doing cumbia. The whole thing began when I came to Texas for the first time, maybe 18 or 19. I was fresh out of high school.
Yeah.
And I came for a trip to help a friend of mine drive. She was coming to meet the parents of her fiance. Her name was Leticia. The fiance's name was Joey. And she asked me, she goes, Frankie, I know you just graduated and blah, blah, blah. Have you ever been to Texas? I was like, no.
Yeah.
And she's like, would you like to help us drive? I'm like, drive all the way to Texas? I'm like,
are you kidding me?
San Diego. I don't even have a license. No. At the time, I think I already had my license.
Yeah.
But she goes, if you want to help us, maybe you could, drive and, I don't know, a couple hours. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? I was always very adventurous.
Sure.
I was like, I want to get out, do something different. So I did, and I went to Austin. We drove to Austin. And it was a pretty cool experience. And when I came to Austin for the first time, this was in 96, I think it was.
Okay.
I got to meet a couple of people on the music side of things.
Yeah.
A couple of DJs and whatnot. And stayed out here in Austin and Texas for, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks. And then flew back. Well, we drove back. We drove back home.
Yeah.
And Texas, to me, it stayed in my mind and stayed in my heart. I fell in love with the state of Texas.
Really?
I fell in love with the culture, with the food, with the people.
Food, of course.
And
yes.
Oh yeah. It was the first time, man, that I had ever experienced you know, I don't want to get off topic here.
No, for sure. Go ahead.
It was the first time I had ever experienced what is it called? A lua? When they kill a pig. Like they shoot it.
Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the luau,
they skin it or whatever, and then they do cueritos. They do. Oh my gosh! And we were staying in a house where they had like chickens and they had like, you know, it was cool. I was like, man, and so they made me like some fresh eggs and fresh everything, bro. And I fell in love with the whole vibe here in Texas. And
nice.
So we ended up going back to Cali, and I always had the itch to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did come back, it was an opportunity to join a group called the Kumbia Kings.
Yeah.
And, okay, now mind you, I already knew Selena.
Okay.
I already knew the family, right? And I already knew who A.B. Quintanilla was.
Right.
So when I got a call from a friend of mine, you know, to be part of the group Kumbia Kings, I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. Because in my mind, for me, I always wanted to do the solo thing.
Yeah.
I always wanted to do my own thing. But then I said to myself, well, this could be an opportunity for me to get my feet wet in the industry, because I don't know when this is going to come back.
Right, the next opportunity for sure. Yeah.
And mind you, I was already working a regular job back home. And so I said, what the heck? I'm going to try it out. Why not?
Yeah.
So within about maybe 3-4 days, I get a call from AB. My dad actually answers the phone. He goes, "Te hablan." Like, okay. So I go to the phone and I was like, "Se llama AB."
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I was like, oh, it's AB Quintanilla. And he goes, "Frankie." This is AB. He goes, "What's up, man? This is AB." I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?" And he's like, "Hey, man, I wanted to offer you this position to be a singer in the group, the Kumbia Kings, but would you mind auditioning for me over the phone?" And I was auditioning. I was like, "Sure. Can you sing a song?"
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no problem. And then he goes, "But wait, let me go ahead and, you know, grab my business partner and put him on three-way." It was Cruz Martinez, who was also obviously one of the founders of the group Kumbia Kings.
Right.
And this is the first time I'm meeting, you know, both of these guys. And so at the time, I forgot to mention, As Yet was another group that I listened to. Big group,
for sure.
And at that time, As Yet had a song called Last Night.
Classic.
Right?
Classic record.
And I was listening to all their music at the time. So AB goes, "All right, man, sing away." And I'm like, I was kind of nervous. I was like, "What song?" And he goes, "Well, whatever song you're singing right now." I said, "Okay." And I started singing a little piece of the song. It was the "Last night, you were so into it. You know, you told me secrets that you never told us. So you were so nervous and yet oh so comfortable. As we explored your image of love, I drank your wine as you taste mine. I kissed your lips. You felt my body slip into your soul. I almost cried 'cause it was so beautiful. And that's what I sang.
Get him.
That was it. And so right after that,
Get him right away. Get him right away.
That's
Get him.
exactly what he said.
Look, however you got to get him down here, get him back.
He said, "You're gonna be on the first flight out
Absolutely.
to Corpus Christi, Texas."
Yeah.
And that was it. That was it. But he didn't fly me out right away because I also had a job and I needed to be respectful.
Yeah. Put your 2 weeks in and all
Exactly.
that.
So
You're way better than me, dog.
Hey, you a good dude,
You're
man.
a good dude, Frankie.
No,
Hey,
but-
now salute to you, bro.
But you want to hear something crazy?
Talk to me.
So check this out. So after we hung up, they already said, "You're in," right?
Right.
So then the next day, I go and tell my boss. I was working at the Hotel Del Coronado in San Diego. And I was an audio technician. I was setting up speakers, microphones, PA systems for conventions that were happening at the Hotel Del Coronado. I don't know if you guys know, but it's a very historic hotel.
Gotcha.
And I was only there for 3 months. And I still remember this so vivid in my mind when I went up to my boss. His name was Scott. I said, hey, Scott. I go, I know I've only been here for like 3 months or so. I go, but hey, man, I just got an opportunity to be a lead singer for a band called the Kumbia Kings. I said, do you remember Selena? And he goes, yeah.
Yeah.
And I go, well, her brother called me and asked me to audition. And I got it. And then he looks at me and he goes, what the hell are you doing here? He goes, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Go pursue your dream.
That's amazing.
And he goes, congratulations. And I was like, so that means I'm fired? And he goes, man, go. Get out of here. And I'll never forget that. I've always been very grateful, very thankful.
Shout out Scott, man.
Yeah,
Wherever
man,
you are,
Scott.
man. Scott, if you haven't seen this, good.
And yeah, man, he was such a good man, and he let me go. And right after I went back home, I grabbed the phone, called AB, and I said, hey, man, I go, you don't have to wait for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I go, I'm ready to go whenever. And so probably within about a week, he got the flight and flew me to Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
And I told my mom and my dad, I said, Dad, Mom, I'm going to go into a boy band.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be a lead singer. And my dad goes, go ahead. My mom said the same thing, but they did tell me, like, it doesn't mean that you're going to make it. Like, the industry is tough.
Right.
And the music is not easy.
Right.
Just know that you can always come back.
For sure.
And I said, thank you, but I'm going to make it. That's what I said. I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
And so I left, and I sacrificed everything. I left my friends, my family, my girlfriend at the time. I said, I'm gone.
Absolutely.
I don't know anybody out there. I don't know nothing about Corpus Christi. I said, I'm going to be by myself. And I didn't know how the guys were going to react by this California kid joining their group. Now, mind you, it was nothing but Texas, a few
Who's this
folks from
out-of-towner
Chicago.
kid, you know what
and
I
I'm
mean?
this California kid that has nothing to do with what they're doing, but
Exactly.
I wasn't even sure if they knew about me. But apparently they did. And thank God, man, that they accepted me with open arms. They welcomed me. And the rest is history.
For sure.
I was writing for the Kumbia Kings almost every single day that I was there. I was writing all the English songs.
Yeah.
And I was in the studio with AB. I was in the studio with Cruz. And mind you, they always loved my work tactic because I never said no to being in the studio. I always said, when do you need me? And at what time do you need me there?
Right.
And I was always the first one there and the last one out.
Nice.
Whenever they said, we need you here. At the time, they were calling me Cisco because there was another Frankie in the group. And I wasn't, I was like, no, man, I don't want Cisco to be my name. I was like, hey, man, if you guys want to call me Pancho, that's fine, too. I'm good. I'm golden.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, yeah, man, that was it. That's how it all began for me, and I'm grateful for that opportunity.
Wow. What a story.
Yeah,
what a story.
man.
Now, because, I mean, that journey alone, just to get to the group was one thing. But then when you pursued your solo career,
right,
I think that was another. And I know we was talking earlier about your solo career, and you have. I know Skrills is telling me, Skrills, if you want to jump in here, if you talking about your first 2 albums, considered cult classics from the masses, and and earlier when I mentioned about Heartbeats, the R&B side of things, don't want to try. I promise you.
Yeah.
At Skrills, how many times did you hear it on the radio?
Listen,
bro?
man, I got it dedicated once. You don't say nothing to nothing to smile at, you know what I'm saying? But
whose heart did you break?
Exactly. It wasn't a good thing, but man, you heard that a lot, man. Just
Here,
because
for sure.
It's one of them, and honestly, man, the music you made and you continue to make these days is the reason why R&B is my favorite genre.
Man, that's what's up, man.
You know
I
what I mean?
appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. Just because, and it's not a knock on the other music, but it's just like, if I had to pick one genre to listen to forever, like that's where it is, man, because it resonates. And you made records like the Don't Want to Try and Ya No Es Igual. Like, those were the ones that, like, if you knew Frankie, if you were a Frankie fan, you knew them joints. But when the One album came out, that's when, like, the masses got to know you, I think.
For sure.
Right? And then it was like, oh, you ain't been on him?
Right.
Oh, you whack, fam.
The album, The One, catapulted my career to the next level. I felt like the album What's a Man to Do was my my introduction to the industry. Because to be honest with you, not a lot of people knew that I was Mexican.
Right.
When I was doing when Don't Want to Try first came out, because I wrote the song in 2002. I was still in the group, and then when the song came out in 2000, actually it was towards the end of 2002, because I remember the very first time it got played on the radio. I was in Corpus Christi, and it was my birthday.
Really?
It was December 7th.
Hell of a gift,
birthday,
man. That's crazy.
And it was a big gift to me. Shout out to Ed Ocaña's of the radio station out there in Corpus. Man, he played it for me, man, and he was like, Frankie, because he started calling me Frankie.
Right.
He goes, I'm going to play this song, man. He goes, and remember back then, remember that they would get calls.
Right. People would call to the station and be like,
it wasn't that, what is it called, PPA thing?
Right.
It wasn't that. It was actual real people calling.
Hey, I need
station.
you to play this record.
Yeah.
Play this song.
And he told me, he goes, dude, the phones are going crazy. And it was close to midnight.
Yeah.
And people were still up at night calling the radio station asking, who is this kid?
Yeah.
Who's that singing? And I remember Ed Ocaña's would just tell, this is what he told me, that he said to the fans, you know him. You know his voice. And you'll be surprised when he finally, gets introduced to the world as the artist that he truly is.
Yeah.
And when he was telling me these words, I was like, wow, this is crazy. I was excited for him just to play it,
right,
there at the station in Corpus. And then soon after that, well, my manager at the time, Charles Chavez, he took that record and sent it to everybody that he knew in the industry, because he came from radio.
Yeah.
And he sent it to New York. He sent it to LA. He sent it to all these people here in Texas. Program directors. El Paso was the second station that played it. And man, it was just crazy. Of course, here in San Antonio.
Yeah, a lot.
It was
a lot.
And yeah, man, it was a mystery. Nobody knew who it was.
Yeah.
Until finally the video came out. And I was doing interviews, and they were like, oh man, this kid is a Mexican kid.
Right.
And he's doing pop R&B music.
Right.
This is black music. Like,
right.
Who,
Because that was a ballad. You know what I mean? R&B ballads.
Correct.
You know what I mean? When it comes to those type of records, a lot of times you see black artists.
Right.
But for you to be singing the way that you are on these records, it was like, yo.
Yeah, it was like,
this kid is special.
And, it was cool to experience that. Because I remember back then, there wasn't many Latino singers really doing R&B. And it was exciting times, and it was breaking down, barriers, and it was really cool for the Latino culture, because I felt like it opened up a lot of doors.
Yeah.
It opened up a lot of doors to the newer urban, side of things, when it comes to like artists on the Latin side,
right?
That were now venturing into the English world,
yeah.
But the album "What's a Man to Do" did that. It started it. When we were working on the album, The One, I remember Sony Kumbia was not really excited, about putting it together, because Sugar Sugar, when it came out, everybody thought that it was my record. And it was supposed to be my record.
Sure.
But Kumbia did not like the way I sounded on the record. So they said, Frankie doesn't shine on this record. But I'm like, wait a minute, I'm singing the hook.
Right. That's
Right?
what are we talking about?
I'm singing the damn hook.
Right.
And I'm a writer,
Right.
you know, on this song. But they said, well, we don't like it.
Yeah.
So then my manager goes, well, listen, man, why don't we use it with Baby Bash? Because he's not signed. And Universal was looking to, they love the record.
Right.
And they said, well, if Frankie's not going to use it, let's sign Baby Bash and let's use the record and we'll promote it.
Right.
Both of you guys are on the song. Both of you guys are going to, you know, reap from it.
For sure.
So you guys can go on tour together. And I said, you know what? Let's just do that. Because obviously they needed my consent.
For sure.
To also give my release as an artist.
Right.
And of course with Kumbia. And so they said, okay. And when this record hit,
Listen, out of here.
it blew up.
Out of here.
So Bash was going with me on my promo run.
Yeah.
I was bringing him out on stage with me to perform this record.
Yeah.
And when that song started catching fire, Kumbia was like, shit. What did we just do?
What do we do? Right.
They basically kicked themselves in the ass.
Absolutely.
I mean, I was cool because, hey, look, I'm still making my publishing checks.
Absolutely.
I'm a writer on the song.
Yeah.
I'm performing the song, and I still perform the song to this day, right?
Yeah.
So everything worked out for the better because it kicked off, you know, my brother Ronnie's career.
Yeah.
And it also helped me as a writer because I already had a top 10 record,
Right.
which was Don't Want to Try. Wrote it and produced it alongside my good friend James Galvez.
Yeah.
And so now I have, you know, this cool thing about, you know, being a songwriter, being an artist. Hey, look, and Kumbia was like, well, shit, we need to put out another project.
Right.
So
Because that resume is looking nice now.
It was already looking nice.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that resume is different now, for sure.
So then that's when, you know, we started thinking about the next move, and we started, you know, looking up producers.
Yeah.
And that's when we called Brian Michael Cox.
Listen, I was going to, okay. Because when you talk about Brian Michael Cox and
Yeah.
R&B,
Yep.
that's a match made in heaven.
That right there
Yeah.
was the key. Because even my manager at the time, Charles, he goes, dude, you need to work with some black producers.
Yeah.
Because you're Mexican. And it's not really something that is seen in this industry right now. So
Right.
by you working with Brian, by you working with Mario Winans, by
Right.
you working with Irv Gotti, by you working with, you know, ex producers that are making hits like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Especially in the
gonna-
R&B world, for sure.
Yeah, it'll give you, you know, the cosign.
For sure.
So we did. And I'm glad. Shout out to B. Cox, man. He's an
Yeah,
amazing
man.
songwriter, an amazing producer. He gave me the opportunity, man. And we did a song called On the Floor.
Yeah.
And it's featuring my brother Paul Wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a sample of Everything She Wants by Wham.
Yeah.
And of course, George Michael is the singer.
Of course.
And he sampled that record. And man, it was such a great sound that my manager, Charles, at the time was like, yo, this needs to be the first single of
Yeah.
the new project. And so this is the first time that I learned about, can I say it?
Go for it.
Payola. This is the very
Yeah.
first time I learned about what payola was.
Yeah.
Charles goes, you're going to have to use your money. It's like, me? I'm signed to a major.
Right.
Why am I going to have to use my money? He goes, because they're not going to care about this record. I was like, why not? This is a great record.
Right.
Trust me on this. And he goes, you got 10 grand. I said, yeah. He goes, that 10 grand is going to be dispersed. I said, to who? To let me do the work.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. I took 10 grand out of my account. Okay, what am I going to do with this?
Right.
And of course, he did what he did, and the record went top 40.
Body's like
I'm trying to get you on the floor.
Kumbia was like, how the hell did you guys do this?
Yeah.
They said, no, that's not going to happen. We need to come out with something else, and we're going to blow that record out of the water. And this is how you're going to know Kumbia is Kumbia Records.
Exactly.
Right? Because they're the powerful label.
You're talking about a major for sure.
Major. You know, you're talking about Sony.
Right.
And so that's when Obsession came.
Mm.
And now this is crazy because Obsession came from Universal. The idea came from Universal.
Gotcha.
Not Sony.
Oh, man.
And this was from a group called Aventura.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, Romeo
For those
Santos.
of you bachateros out there,
my wife was over here like, yeah.
Obsession came from Aventura.
Yeah.
And the president of Universal was the one that gave us the idea. But that record was supposed to be for Bash. Bash had flown to Germany, did a feature for a group called Third Wish.
Okay.
They had already covered the song Obsession, but the song was okay. It was a cool record.
Yeah.
And they paid Bash to be a feature.
Gotcha.
He went and shot the video out there. But then they said, nah, this record could be better. Why don't we give it to Frankie? This was Charles, my manager. He goes, we got to give this record to Frankie. And I remember Bash wanted to keep it. He goes, nah, man, this is going to be for me. And then Charles goes, nah, man, we got to give it to Frankie. Like, you guys both stay on the record.
Yeah.
You got Sugar Sugar. Let him keep this one.
Mm-hmm.
The same person that produced Sugar Sugar was set to produce Obsession.
Yeah.
My big brother, Happy Perez.
Yeah.
So then when Charles gave him the record, I remember saying, I want it similar, but just with your sound. And I remember the very first attempt was not what you hear now on the radio. It's not what you hear now on YouTube and Spotify and Apple and all that. It was a little bit faster. The drum pattern was a little faster.
Gotcha.
And it had a little bit more of a rock kind of feel. And I was like, the guitars were a little harder. And I was like, man, I can't really get into the whole vibe. I said, why don't we just clean it up a little bit and make it more poppy?
Yeah.
You know, and I could do the R&B twist to it on my vocals. And I even rewrote some of the lyrics. And that's the version that you hear today. And when that record came out, that record just
out of here.
It was number 2.
Yeah.
On the Hot Billboard charts. And that was kind of like what, you know, catapulted my career to the next level, because I already had Don't Wanna Try.
Right.
I already had Sugar Sugar.
That's 2.
Obsession was the next one.
Right. Yeah.
Now, mind you, On the Floor was first before Obsession,
right?
But it was a top 40.
Right.
Back then, it wasn't really considered a hit. Now it is. If you got a top 40
if
record,
you got top 40 nowadays, it's like, okay, you're doing something.
It's a whole nother level.
Right, you're doing something for sure.
But Obsession came out, and that was it. It was out of here. And that was another hit for me and for Bash.
Yeah.
So it worked, and then the rest is history. After that came How to Deal.
Yeah.
After that came More Than Words.
Come on,
and that album went platinum in 6 months.
I was gonna say, look, we got to mention that certified platinum in 6 months. You said
in 6 months.
Wow.
Real numbers.
Numbers, people. That's when people was going outside and purchasing CDs.
Real sales.
You know what I mean?
And I remember the very first week it came out, it sold 130,000 copies, and that's because I do remember. I think it was the Pope who passed away. That they stopped everything.
Yeah.
It was one day that they stopped, like, you know, sales and all that stuff, because the Pope had recently passed. And if they would have had another day of sales, it probably would have been a lot more, you know, than 130,000 copies.
Right.
But It was.
I mean, we still in platinum.
It was number 3. It was the number 3 album in the country. The first one was Now. Remember the Now albums?
Oh yeah, now that's what I call. That's what I call music.
Yeah,
whatever
now
volume.
that's what I call
as,
music.
Yeah.
And then the number 2, no, number 1 was Now. Number 2 was, I want to say, 50 Cent.
Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yep, with
Yeah.
Candy Shop.
Oh, this is 05. That's right. So this
And
is
then-
Massacre. The
and then it was
Massacre album.
mine,
Yeah.
and then it was Obsession.
Wow.
It was the album The One.
Wow. Look at the company you was with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's right.
crazy.
Yeah, with Candy Shop. Yeah, that was Massacre. The Massacre album. Yeah, 'cause I definitely went out and bought that.
Yep.
So yeah, that's crazy. Damn, yo.
You want to hear something crazier?
Yeah.
I heard 50's album before it came out.
Oh yeah.
The whole project.
And what was your reaction?
And this was because I had a meeting with Jimmy Iovine.
Oh, at
This was-
Interscope.
With Interscope. This was back when they were trying to sign me.
Really?
Jimmy Iovine was trying
Okay.
to sign me. And of course, we ended up going with Sony. Sony
Yeah.
ended up paying the bigger check.
For sure.
But Jimmy took me into a meeting and allowed me to see like how they all kind of how to do their thing when they
For
talk
sure.
to all the all the people there, all from radio, from marketing and promo and stuff. And it was really cool. It was actually really, really cool to experience that, to see that. And then me and Charles walked outside with Jimmy, and then he played outside of the meeting. Mm-hmm. We went into his office, and he played me the record. But yeah, I remember listening to the whole project. I was like, damn, that's crazy. So
Damn.
that's a little...
Mozzie, what would you do if
Little
you had
backstory.
access to that project, bro?
Fam.
He a big G Unit
I'm
fan,
a
by the way.
big G Unit fan, but I mean, you can see
Yeah.
the G Unit chain.
G-Unit.
How many of y'all can say y'all did the G Unit chain with Frankie J? None of y'all. But yeah, no, I'm a big G Unit fan. But yeah, no, that's crazy to hear that story.
Yeah.
But I will say this, Frankie, man. So just really quick, when I saw Sugar Sugar, I want to say I saw it on BET, bro.
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Mind you,
You talking about the video?
Yeah. So I just remember because I wouldn't watch a lot of MTV just because I felt, I mean, shit, lack for a better term, it just felt white.
Right.
White pop, just top to bottom. I mean,
For sure.
You know, Eminem would
MTV was that.
Right,
for
sure,
a
it
long
definitely was.
time.
And Eminem was like sprinkled in there, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and there was some hip hop, DMX, stuff like that. But BET is what me and Mozzie, I think, would watch
Absolutely.
growing up. A lot of the content we produce these days is based
Yeah.
off of things on BET that we saw. But I swear, bro, I saw it on like 106.
Yeah.
And
106 apart.
And I just remember having this like overwhelming sense of like, damn, fam, we
The
won.
Latinos made it.
Yeah, we fucking won. And no lie,
Facts.
I think maybe shortly after, never met him before, but shout out to them. But Playing Skills had like
Yeah.
Latino stand up,
That's right.
the
Yeah,
record.
they did.
and that shit, man, set me over the moon. Just it was pretty much within a year or two. I was like,
Did you shed a tear?
come on, man. Come on, man. I didn't want to admit it. You know, my cheese won all that shit. But
No, but you know what? You're right though. When I saw Don't Want to Try being played on BET, I was like, yo, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And that's when I said to myself, wow, we're making a difference. Like we're actually piercing through the industry, you know,
Right.
breaking the barriers. And it was really cool to experience that. And I got to tell you, man, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
I'd never seen that before.
Nah.
Being a fan of music, you know, growing up as a kid. Now, you were talking about MTV. I used to do, remember the TRLs?
Yeah, TRL.
So I was on TRL probably about 3-4 times. I remember going up there for Don't Want to Try. I remember doing Obsession there. Mm-hmm. I remember also performing More Than Words, promoting that. And I think I did something else with MTV. Might have been the awards. But they were showing love. Honestly, they were. They were showing love. I think
That's dope.
I think they were now, you know, because it was trending now, and it was, you know, you can see a lot more. Like even I think Ricky Martin and I were on an episode
man.
of TRL. There you go. Those are the photos.
Oh, look at that. Nah,
And I want to say I did one also with Alejandro Sanz. I don't think he remembers, but I want to say that I did do one of the TRLs when Alejandro Sanz was there. but they were starting to show love to the Latinos as well.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a mix.
I mean, you really were like at the, at the front of the wave, man. Just because,
For
like,
sure.
I did see, eventually, I think it shifted to like reggaeton,
Right.
and that.
And see, that's something that I think I made a comment on another podcast. This was with Smooth Vega.
Okay.
And I remember saying something to the extent of, I felt like the music that we were doing in the early 2000s, and the the hits that we were putting out, being Latinos, also helped the wave of reggaeton coming in to the pop culture, because there wasn't a lot of Latinos doing urban music,
True.
not necessarily just on the rap, but also like on the R&B tip.
And real quick, I will say though, like, and this is again not a knock, but I mean,
Yeah.
you had like MC Magic, and you had like the back then there were the Nasty Boy Click and all that, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't sound urban. Like you knew,
sure.
you knew what it was.
For sure,
You know what I'm saying? It had this like heavy.
I think what we were doing was really hitting hard.
Right.
And it was really piercing through. Like we had
sure.
Billboard top 100 hits. They were global, they were worldwide, and it was making a difference in as far as being Latino. I mean, not to try to be full of myself.
No, go for it.
This was an era where, the music was really, it was piercing through.
Yeah.
And it was really, like I said earlier, like knocking down these doors.
Yeah.
And like I said, being Latino and doing this in that era, it really helped a lot of the Latino culture now.
Yeah.
It opened doors,
For sure.
without having my words being misunderstood or misconstrued.
Sure.
I know that there, at the time when I made that comment, people started talking all kinds of crazy stuff. They're like, hey man, Frankie J is full of himself. It's like, no man, I mean, I'm speaking facts.
Being
Like,
honest, man.
Yeah, being honest. And there's no way, shape, or form trying to say like, oh, we created. No. All I said was, hey man, what we were doing back then helped y'all.
Exactly.
You know, in a very good way.
Yeah.
100%.
And acknowledge that.
Facts.
That's it.
I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
And then for the fact that you are, I mean, the highest selling Mexican American R&B artist of all time. Come on, man. I think rap that. Come on, man. Yeah, a platinum album, and then the singles you had in between in the top 40, top 10 spots is just like, come on, man.
But I
like,
think
what
I also think what people can't measure is the influence.
Yes.
Right. The influence and the ultimately, man, the doors you're talking about that you open or that you knock down.
For sure.
I think eventually you can't measure stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Man, there was racism going on. I'm telling you guys.
Clearly, yeah.
There was a lot of racism because of being Mexicano, and there was a lot of why is he here? There's times that I've done shows with some big names, and I'm not gonna mention no names. There was a lot of big names on the R&B world. Why is he performing? Like, why are we performing first? Why doesn't he perform first? Well, because he's selling tickets. He sells more tickets than you in this area.
Talk about it.
And it's not like I look up to a lot of these R&B acts, but when they don't take you serious, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm actually paying homage to you guys. Like
Right.
I'm honored to be on the same stage with you guys. And to me, this is like mind-boggling for me to say like, yo, I'm doing shows with X artist and X group, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. This is a dream come true. But there was a lot of that. Like, man, look at this Mexican kid trying to come into this. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
to
for
our
sure.
world.
Yeah.
But again, when you're in the industry, you have to have thick skin. You can't let any of this stuff bother you or get to you. You just got to be the bigger person, and you got to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
And you just go out there and sing your ass off and prove, don't prove anything to them, but prove to yourself that you are actually, a great artist at the same time and a great entertainer. And just the same exact opportunity that God has given them, God has given it to you. And at the end of the day, it's just about, respecting each other and respecting your colleagues. And it's a beautiful thing, man, to be able to share the stage with a lot of amazing artists, So, man, I feel like you just got to stay humble.
Yeah.
And remember where you came from.
For sure.
And acknowledge where you came from, because that's what makes you.
Exactly.
That's what you take at the end of the day, and that's what you pour out into the world. And when you're up there on stage and you're singing your ass off, man, and the fans are actually singing word for word of your songs and really just listening to you and checking everything out. There's times when there's audiences that are just like this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They're just watching.
They're watching.
Yeah.
It's not that they hate your music. It's not that they don't like you as an artist.
Right.
They're actually really like paying attention to
right.
you. And that's it. They could be with their arms crossed like this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that they're not really like
they're not
digging
into
on
you,
your style. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're actually paying attention to
like,
you.
huh.
They're like, this kid could actually
Right. He
this
can
kid
go.
could sing.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, man, it's been an adventure.
It sounds like it, man. And I know, I mean, from where that was and then to where you're at now with your most recent single, Never Giving Up on You.
Never Giving Up on
Come
You.
on, man. Like, so, just like we was talking about earlier, when it comes to R&B ballads,
Yeah.
I think when it comes to, you saying, when this is what you grew up on and now everything's coming back full circle, especially the way the music industry is now.
Yeah.
This is one of them records. Personally, for me, I'm listening to this and I'm like, oh yeah, he's getting in his bag with this R&B ballad stuff for sure, man.
I knew you were about to be on some shit when you sat down.
Yo, okay, Scrolls, pause it real quick. Pause it. Because we all know the stigma when it comes to R&B, right? Anytime someone's laying down on the side, like the Michael Jackson Thriller album or Luther Vandross, when they're laying on the side, you're like, oh no, we about to get some heat.
Yeah. You about to be in trouble.
When Frankie sat down right here on the stool, I was like, "Oh yeah, it's going down." He's about to get into it.
Believe it or not, man, I wrote this song with a very good friend of mine named Claudia Brent, who is a prolific songwriter. She's written hits for Ricky Martin. She's written hits for Luis Fonsi. She's written hits for Josh Groban.
Okay.
She's written hits for Natalia Jimenez. I mean, she's written for David Bisbal. These are a lot of like big Latin artists, with the exception of Josh Groban. She's written stuff for me that has never came out. This is one of the songs that we actually wrote together, that I started on the piano, and we actually wrote it in Spanish first. No voy a dejarte ir. And I love the song so much that I said, man, this song needs to be translated in English. Now, mind you, I wrote this with Claudia and Chief the Cornet, who produced it, like in 2014 or 2015. I was just having writing sessions in LA. And I kept the record for so long because I didn't even know if I was just going to do it myself or if I was going to give it away to whoever, right?
Right.
Now, mind you, I don't know if you know who Chayanne is.
Yeah.
But Chayanne heard the record and he loved it. There was a few other artists that heard the song, big Latin artists that heard the song, but they did not dare to sing it. And I was like, well, man, there's so many, like, this is a great record. Like, I know I didn't use it, but hey, there's some, singers that have heard it and they've said that they're going to record it, but they don't do it. And so the song was just sitting there collecting dust. And I was like, you know what? Lorenzo was the one that said, why don't you use it? Smooth Vega. He goes, why don't you just use it? Give it away to the fans.
Yeah.
So that's why we ended up shooting the video like this to Never Giving Up on You. Came out through TuneCore.
Yeah.
And, man, I've been getting nothing but good and positive feedback from the fans. It kind of gives it like a country pop R&B kind of twist to it.
Right.
It's universal. It's
very universal.
It's what I
Thank you,
got
Skrills.
from
and,
it.
And it's in the lyrical content of it is talking about, hey, look, there's still hope in a relationship.
Absolutely.
Even if it's going rocky, or if it's going, left, or if it's gonna not make it, like there's still a little bit of hope. And this is what the song is about. It's called Never Giving Up on You, and it's just talking about like all the craziness that goes on in a relationship when people are really just giving up.
Yeah.
And there's one person that says, you know what? No, I'm gonna keep going, and we're gonna make it.
Absolutely.
And this is exactly what this song is about. And I felt like, you know what? I'm gonna put this out, and because the world needs it.
Yeah.
Especially the way the world is going right now.
Look, man, I'm gonna tell you, these kids, especially these kids these days, they don't know what love is, man.
It's tough.
It's
and
tough.
Some of these kids
and
don't
it shows,
know.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the music. The music that is being put out in today's world is crazy, man. I mean, I feel like country music right now is putting out records that are meaningful.
Yes.
And they've always done so.
Yeah.
Great songwriting, great stories. And I've always looked up to, some of these great country songs.
Mm-hmm.
And so I intend to continue keeping that kind of content. Some songs that I've been writing lately are kind of strong, but it's facts. It's true.
Yeah.
It's really stuff that happens to you in your day in life,
Right.
And it's something that really does. I feel that it's gonna, resonate with the world, and with the younger generation as well. When you're writing real songs, man, there's nothing else that can beat it.
For sure. Especially when it comes from the heart, and
Yep.
and you're painting a picture for the listener, and it's just like, damn, I feel that.
Yep.
That's the songs that stands the test of time for sure.
Those are the ones that last forever.
For sure. Going back to you shopping this record.
Yeah.
And mind you, no disrespect to any of the artists that heard it beforehand. Do you think, my opinion, they heard the reference and was like, this is a dope record, but vocally I can't match that?
I mean, nowadays you can bring the key down.
You can, but listen,
Or-
this record, come on, dog.
Sometimes I'll be honest.
Because like you hear that version, it's just
Yeah.
like, this is a great record.
Yeah.
Why don't you just keep it and you put it out, Frankie?
Right.
And I don't want to disrespect your record. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. I feel like, even me, like sometimes I'll get demos and I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I don't know if I could. You already put some great emotion into this record. I don't
Right.
know if I can do the same. Okay. Perfect example. Miguel.
Right.
What was his big first number one? It
It
was a record called Sure Thing.
Sure Thing, that's right. Okay.
Right? Produced by Happy Perez.
Your guy.
Correct.
Okay. Don't tell me you had it.
No, check this out. I had a
Okay.
writing session with Miguel, and we were trying to figure out what to do, what to write. He shows me the record with Happy there.
Wow.
And even Happy was like, yo, this record could be dope, Frankie.
Yeah.
And Miguel was like, yo, this record is dope, Frankie. Why don't you sing it? And I remember hearing it. I was like, dude, it's not me. This is not me.
Right.
It's got all the elements that could be something cool for me,
Right.
but it's not me.
You know you.
I know me.
Right.
And I remember telling Miguel, I said, bro, it's a dope record, but I don't know. A year later, he put it out.
Yeah.
And it became a number one for him.
Number one hit. That's crazy.
And he, rightfully so, it's his song.
Right.
He wrote it. Happy produced it. I was like, I could never sing that song the way you're singing it. Why? Not that he's a better singer than me or me a better singer than him.
But you just know what
It's
fits.
the emotion
Exactly.
and what he already felt when he was recording that record. I'm not going to do it justice if I put my voice on it.
Got you.
It's going to sound different. So there you go. Perfect example. I've even had experience in that.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, that doesn't sound like me. Imagine if I would have recorded that record.
Right.
It's not going to sound like
What
how
we
he
heard.
did it,
Exactly.
right? And that was his very first number one song.
Amazing. Wow.
And it did well for him.
And it
Kicked off his career.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
To where, Miguel's damn near a household name, How Many Drinks and all those other records that yeah.
Now,
Wow.
there is one song that I was pissed that I didn't get the chance to record.
Let's get to that. Talk to me.
So there's a song called Irreplaceable.
Wait.
Remember that song?
Not by the...
Correct. That song was sent to me first.
Oh, no!
And the word is
Oh, man.
that it was sent to Beyonce
Yeah.
right after it was sent to me.
Who was in charge of that email, man?
So I remember telling my A&R at the time, John Delp, I said, John,
Yeah.
I love this record. I want to record it. He goes, sorry, Frankie. It was sent to Beyonce today, and she loved it. So now she's keeping it. I was like, damn it.
Dang,
And
man.
I still have the CD of the demo.
No way.
I have the CD.
Wow.
It's in my house.
What?
And there's 3 records in there. And they were all written by Bincha Schaefer.
Yeah.
You know, that's Neil.
Right,
Schaefer.
right. Exactly. Yeah.
And so I remember, man, when I first heard that record, I was like, this is a smash.
Absolutely.
And I did want to record that record because I heard Neil's voice on it. I was like, oh, I could kill this record.
Absolutely.
But she took it, and I get it. Everything happens for a reason.
Sure.
Obviously, you know, Beyonce did it justice, and she killed it.
Killed it.
And Beyonce needed a hit at the time.
Right.
She was, you know, she was doing great, but the project was still kind of, you know, she was looking for records.
Right.
And when Irreplaceable came out with her voice, of course,
Out of there.
The world fell in love with it.
Every
I mean,
woman,
who could say no to Beyonce?
Right. And every woman was sitting there chanting to the left, to the
Neil
left.
should have said no and be like, yo, I'm giving it to Frankie J. I'm sorry, Beyonce. I'm sorry, Queen B. But no, you can't have it. Frankie J's going to keep it.
Yeah, oh, man. No, I can. Boy, what? now I'm sitting there thinking if you would have been chanting to the. Come on, man.
Right?
Crazy.
Now you want to hear something else?
Yeah.
This is crazy. I don't think I've ever told anybody this, but Disturbia by Rihanna was another record.
Come on, man.
Was another record
Come
that was
on,
sent to
man.
me.
Really?
Was another record that was sent to me, and of course, you know, shout out to Marcus Sanchez, who was managing at the time B. Kennedy,
Okay.
Brian Kennedy,
Yeah.
who produced it. And I think Andre Merritt wrote the song, and this was before I even met Brian Kennedy and before I even met Andre. I want to say I hadn't met Andre yet, Dre. But that record was sent to me, and I was like, yo, this record is crazy.
Yeah.
And then the next day, Rihanna just bought it for $5,000 or something like that. I was like,
what?
But again, it was a record that was sent to me for me to hear. And I remember when I first heard it, and I heard the chant, the chant part of the song. Oh man, I was like, yo, this thing is crazy.
Yeah. I knew as soon as I heard it, it was out of here.
Oh, absolutely, right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
It was right. It was instant.
Instant.
I was like, yo, this record is fire.
The record's gonna be huge.
And I remember calling Mark, and I was like, yo, can I record that record? And he was like, dog, Rihanna just bought it.
And look where that went.
And it went number one.
Number one.
3 number one. No. 2 number ones, man.
Dang, man.
With the exception of Sure Thing, I actually told Miguel, no, I don't want to record.
No,
that.
for sure.
That's for you.
But the ones you did have the opportunity to be like, yeah, let me jump on that.
Yeah.
So.
But see, now you're getting some juice right now, bro.
Yeah, nah.
Hey, so let's squeeze a little more. Let's squeeze a little more.
Let's go for it.
Nah, so you say you had that CD. You have that CD at the
Yes.
crib, man. If you open up the treasures trove, man? What else is in there,
Dude,
man?
I got a record with Akon that never came out.
Excuse me?
I got a record with R. Kelly that never came out.
Let's pause right there. All right. So listen.
There it is.
Yeah, so listen, man. I have this debate with the homies. They shit on me because I still listen to that.
Oh, damn.
All right? Now, listen, I separate, excluding certain songs.
sure.
Excluding certain songs, because some songs I hear now and I'm like, whoa.
And I'm just like, who's he talking about?
Right, right. Shout out Drake. Right. But for the most part, you're not gonna stop me from fucking pausing. I believe I can fly, bro.
Oh, bro.
You got me all the way fucked up. But you feel me? Like
Yeah.
so. With that being said, man, like I heard, shout out to Smooth, of course.
For sure.
But yeah, man, I heard you got some unreleased joints from
yeah.
Kels.
From Kells.
Yeah, man. Me and R. Kelly were never in the same studio recording. I do remember R. Kelly sent out his engineer for me to record the song. The song is called Dancing. And I wanted it to feature Fat Joe. I wanted Fat Joe to be the feature. But R. Kelly was charging me way too much for the record, and I think we were already at the end of our budget. I remember at the time it was a $500,000 budget on the album. And this was going to be on the album, I want to say it was going to be on the album The One.
Oh, wow.
It was supposed to be on the album The One. And we were already at the tail end of the budget, and I think I only had like $100,000 left. And R. Kelly wanted 50 for the track and 50 for the feature. And I was like, well, damn.
Damn, that's the rest of the budget.
If I want... Because it was R. Kelly also featured on it.
Right.
But we wanted a rapper.
Right.
And we were thinking, man, I want to get
Fat Joe.
I want to get Fat Joe.
That would have been dope.
That would have been cool. See,
and
this
Fat
was
Joe was
05,
different.
06.
For sure.
Oh, very different. Like, man, he was on fire as well, you know?
Absolutely.
And they had that record, Fiesta.
Yeah.
R. Kelly and Fat Joe. But, man, I really wanted that record, and it didn't happen. But nothing happened with that record either.
Right.
Nobody took it. I think it was sent to B2K.
Okay.
And they didn't take it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They did not record it. Or maybe they did record it. I don't know. But I do remember his engineer, I forget his name, flew into, I want to say it was New York. And I recorded the record in New York. Came out freaking dope. But we never put it out because of the budget. It is what it is. Again, sometimes these records get away.
Yeah.
And everything happens for a reason. There's another record that I did with Akon. Me and Akon wrote this record called Teaser. Never came out.
I bet you it sounded fire. Just the name alone. Oh my God. I bet you it sounded crazy.
And it was a crazy record. It was an acoustic record. With a cool little vibe, feel to it.
Yeah.
But it was a little explicit because the way that he was writing back then was a little too risque for me.
Gotcha.
Now, mind you, don't want to try, sugar, obsession, how to deal, and I'm singing more than words, and
right.
And these records that we're writing are a little more sexual.
Gotcha.
So, and I honestly think that that's where he took the idea from, and wrote the record that he did with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
I wanna love you, you already know.
Yeah.
That record, dude. If I show you the record that I wrote with Akon, you'd be like, dude, he took that idea and flipped it, and did it with Snoop. Somebody like me could not sing that.
Gotcha.
Because it's not love you. It was the F word.
Right.
Yeah. So Teaser had the F word on it.
Gotcha.
And I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I recorded it, but I said, I can't release this. It's not me.
It's not on brand.
I mean, I could have changed the lyric.
Sure.
And just said love you, but I was like, it's still not going to work.
Gotcha.
It was the fine line was almost crossed, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Imagine if it would have came out.
All right.
All my fans would be like, Frankie J
dang.
singing, I want to... No.
There would have been a different type of crowd pulling up after that, at that point, for sure.
No.
Yeah, I mean, now with that being said, you could tell now listening to your catalog and how you're talking about these records, yeah, it wouldn't have been on brand.
No, it would not.
Yeah.
No, I would not, man. I feel like the records that I write and the songs that I sing need to fit my personality.
For sure.
And if they don't, then you're just, it's not going to be right. You know? Of course, some can be a little more grown and sexy, which obviously I can do that now because I'm older now.
Sure.
But, I can't, yeah.
But I think when it comes to, I think that just kind of goes back to the R&B music you were listening to. You came up back then.
Yeah.
And Skrillz, you can attest to this, zero R&B head. The R&B music we were listening to at the time, we were literally, the women that we wanted to be with, it was like, I want to marry you, start a family with you, I love you.
Yeah.
Those
Versus the R&B
listening to.
Versus the R&B music now is like, I'm trying to smash and go.
If I was to release those records now, bet you they would hit.
Yeah. Because that's the stuff that they were talking about then.
They would hit.
And even now, it's just like, yo, I'm just trying to smash and then I'm gone. And these are the R&B guys that that's considered R&B music, and it's like, dog. That's why you hear it now from the older generation. It's like, yo, what happened to loving your girl? What happened to crying in the rain for her and be like, baby, I miss you. I messed up. I want you back. Come home.
That's not the message that I want to, convey to the younger generation now, though.
Right.
I feel like the messages of the songs that I sing from the past that's the same message that I want to convey.
Exactly.
And if I write something that is a little more risque, cool, but okay, it doesn't have to say the F word. It doesn't, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's giving you a story and it's taking you on a journey and it's telling you why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Right.
That's different. That's it's just songwriting.
Yeah.
You're speaking truth and you're telling the world how you feel. You got to be real with yourself.
For sure.
And that brings me to some of the covers we've seen you do,
the songs,
recently.
hashtag songs I remember.
Right. Yeah. Which, mind you, fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
Fire. Because I saw that, and then hearing the covers, man, it's like, bro, I want to go back to that. I want to go see that.
You got to remind these folks sometimes,
exactly.
man.
You have
Especially the younger generation. You got to remind
I'm sorry.
them.
I just read the first comment. He said, F my hometown.
What happened?
One of the comments on IG, I guess the tour dates you said, he said, F my hometown.
No, I'm not saying that at all. All because they're saying, wait a minute, he's not coming to my
on the tour
hometown.
dates, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to their hometown. Yeah.
Oh, those are just like tour dates right now. There's the calendar is still being full.
Oh,
We're still
yeah.
getting filled up.
So see,
I see mine though.
yeah. Hey, October 5th, tacos and tequila.
Hoodie weather.
We in there.
San Antonio, man.
Talk to him. But yeah, so talk about the songs I remember tour, man. How does that, the idea of, even the songs I remember you doing the covers of IG now turning into a tour, it seems like, get into that real quick.
Which, mind you, before, if you don't mind, can we watch this? Because this one right here, man.
Oh, the nice and slow?
10 o'clock on the dot, I'm in my drop top, cruising the street.
I swear to God, I thought I could
got
sing.
A real pretty,
I swear to Bob.
I pull up, anticipated.
This was a song that I used to sing all the time. Man.
Yeah.
Don't keep me waiting. I've got plans to put my hand in places I've never seen. Girl, you know what I mean. Let me take you to a place nice and quiet.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Nice and Slow is one of my favorites from Usher, man.
Yeah.
Classics.
Even on the song, the one you did with Brian Michael Cox.
How to Deal.
How to Deal. Listening to that was just like, oh, that's an Usher influence. That's a
for sure.
That's an Usher record.
I mean, you're getting the producer who produced Burn with
right. The Confessions album. The Confessions album.
And
damn
Confessions.
near.
The whole album.
The whole album. You know what I mean? So
so you're gonna get that.
Yeah.
Sure.
So hearing that, so now coming back full circle, you doing like when it comes to these R&B ballads, man. It's come on.
Usher. You had Usher, Justin Timberlake, and you have Frankie J.
Talk that. Come on, man. Yeah.
Those three, baby. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, that's what I was, when I was doing my thing during those years, that's all that I heard. Justin Timberlake, Usher, Frankie J.
Yeah.
Imagine if those three dudes would get together and do a record.
Imagine y'all going on tour.
You're getting the whites, the blacks, and the Latinos.
And we all singing together. Kumbia. Come on, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Not a fight in sight.
Not a fight in sight.
Oh, you're gonna sell out that tour.
Come on, man. Nah,
Easy.
that's a tour.
And that's what I always got those comments from the fans. I always got those comments even from the industry people.
Yeah.
From people that are execs, that are in this world of music. They're like, man, why don't you ever? Have you guys ever thought? Like, I'm like, well, yeah, you could think all you want, but you got to make it happen.
Exactly.
There's got to be someone that connects the dots. That's just the way that it works.
For sure.
But imagine if that was to happen.
That would be a hell of a record.
That'd be insane.
That'd be insane.
And I think a lot of times, people or even the artists themselves think, they won't be able to keep up, right? But like those names, man, like there wouldn't be a drop in entertainment or in like, oh, he did better than the other. I just feel like it'll be a continuous just heat start to finish.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just a fire record from top to bottom.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Imagine if that would be a possibility. I mean, and I think the music industry would eat it up, and I think the fans would be like, wow.
100%.
100%.
Catch me front and
Why can't we
center,
do it?
boy.
I mean, you'd imagine Justin doing his thing, Usher doing his thing, and I come in and do something in Spanish. I think it'd be something really, really crazy, really, really dope. But
Listen,
hey, you never know. We still got time. We're still here.
Nah, for sure.
Hey, we speak things into existence.
Into
Absolutely.
existence. Exactly.
Boy, say that would
Amen to that.
That'd be a hell of a ballad. I can imagine. Like, okay, so
Yep.
let's just say y'all three in the room.
Yeah.
What's the record gonna be about?
Man.
Is it a love record? Is it a heartbreak
It's
record?
got to be a love record. There's no doubt about that. It's got to be a love record.
Yeah.
Justin's, vibe is also that. Usher, of course, you guys know that. And
Yeah.
mine, forget it.
Come on, man.
I mean, ballads all day.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be something cool too, something vibey, something dancey.
Yeah.
I was always getting down in my heyday as well. The
Yeah.
choreography and all that. Shout out to H-Man, Herman Charles, my choreographer. Man, he put me to work.
Yeah.
He put me to work while I was on tour. But yeah, it could be something cool. I mean, who knows? It could be a ballad. It could be a love song. It could be a dance record.
Yeah.
Hey, let's just do it for the culture.
Let's just do it.
Absolutely.
Nah, that would be amazing.
Set that in motion, boy.
Come on.
So speaking, in collaboration as well, you and Louis
Right.
You and Louis the singer.
Mine are too, yeah.
Talk about how that came about.
Well, that was all Lorenzo's idea.
Yeah.
Lorenzo Smooth Vega was like, "Yo, man, Louis, man, he's picking up, bro. He's doing great. Why don't you guys, get together and, he's a big fan of your music, and I think it'd be dope for you guys to connect and put something together." I'm like, "Yo, I'm down like James Brown. Like, just tell me when and where."
Yeah, for sure.
And of course, I've known Louis for quite some time back when he was working with Plain Skills.
Yeah.
And seeing him doing his thing, I'm proud of him, and in so many ways, because he's kept up with with his work, and he's been a man of his word. He's been
For sure.
really, really going out there, really working.
Yeah.
Sweating and everything, man. Just doing radio and shows and writing and songwriting sessions, going to
Yeah.
Nashville, coming back, and all of that. And but Mine Are Too was a song that they showed me when I was in Fort Worth, and I immediately said, "Yo, this record is dope."
Yeah.
Because they were showing me a bunch of other songs, and I was like, no, this one.
Yeah.
I go, I like that one. All right. And then Louis goes, "You want to sing the second verse?" I'm like, "Does a bear shit in the woods?" I was like, "Yes, sir."
Let's do it.
So we did it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, because he when he was here, shout out to Louis.
Shout out Louis. What up, bro?
Yeah, when he was here, man, he mentioned
Meet
you.
ya, Louis.
Yeah, man, he mentioned you as one of those artists, man.
Yeah.
and he said it so eloquently, man. He was just like, "Yo, how people say like don't meet your idols," and he was
Yeah.
the opposite. He was like, "Bro, I've met my idols, man, and they're super dope.
Right.
You being one of
Wow.
them.
You being one of them for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when
I
I
did
saw,
see that.
yeah, and when I saw this, man, I was like, low key shout out Smooth, but Mozzie, I already know. I was like,
Yeah, man.
responsible.
For sure.
But it was
For
dope,
sure.
man. And the song, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, my relationship. I think my relationship is
Louis
solid.
wrote that record.
Word.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
man.
wrote that record. Shout out to Louis.
That's
for
another
writing
beat.
that
Yo,
song.
his pen is
Now,
crazy.
his
Yeah,
pen is
he's
nice.
a great songwriter.
Great
Yeah.
pen.
Yeah, man.
Great
But yeah, like I
songwriter.
said, my relationship's cool. But when I heard this, I kind of wanted to break up, just to like feel that shit.
Just to live the record.
Feel that
I
shit.
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
Y'all
You're like,
killed
"I don't
that
believe
shit.
you. Wait a minute. Let me go ahead and break up real quick." "Oh, I believe you now."
I'm sorry. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm sorry, baby. When Louis said "Mine Are Too," I said, "God damn it,
Damn,
Louis,
man.
you
Oh,
fucking
but
right."
dude, we have another record that I actually wrote for him. It's called "Me Two Eyes," and it's gonna be part of his new album.
Oh,
That's
wow.
another record. That's another record. And ironically, it was so weird because it kind of went with the Mine Are Too. Kind of the same, not the same concept, but it was just kind of cool to see the titles. Me
Right.
Two Eyes, Mine Are Too.
Right.
But it's a dope record, man. I can't wait for y'all to hear that song as well.
Nice.
That's a
Nice.
great country vibe, poppy, R&B-ish kind of record that I think the girls are really gonna dig.
Yeah.
I really do think that the females are gonna dig this record.
I'll be honest. I like what you and Louis are doing as far as making the lines blur with these genres.
Yes.
It's almost like y'all are creating y'all's own lane. You know what I mean? And I think what y'all are doing is super amazing.
We're just having fun.
Just having fun again, you know?
That's it. You just have to have fun in the studio, man, when you're working. You don't think about what's going to be a hit.
Just
you
create.
Don't think about this is going to be a smash. No, you just go in there, have fun. I'm working with Clef right now. Great producer, great songwriter.
Absolutely.
Man. I'm working with Dan, great, guitarist, great songwriter as well.
Absolutely.
We're just having a good time.
Yeah.
We're not thinking about nothing. We just go in there, have a good time, laugh, talk about some crazy stuff, some cool stories, some funny stuff, some, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we just go ahead and pen it.
Yeah.
And we're not thinking about, hey, man, well, we got to do this because this. No, we just go in there and just enjoy our time together, have fun, and see what comes out of it.
Yeah.
That's how hits are born.
Exactly. You don't go in the studio to create a hit.
No.
You don't go in there and be like, yo, we got to get a hit. No, you just create, and then whatever comes out, and it's like, oh, yo, this was amazing.
Right.
This just happens to be
that's
the
how
one.
hits are born. You don't even think about it.
Right.
There's no science to it. There's no strategy to it. There's no secret. There's no manual, I should say, to write a hit. You just write from the heart.
Exactly. And that's what that comes with being real and authentic, man. You ain't got to fake it.
They always say fake it till you make it. No, that's not true.
No.
You can't fake it.
No.
You got to be real.
Exactly.
Ain't nothing to it but to do it, and that's how you got to do it.
Tell them.
That's it.
Yeah.
100%.
So, before we get up out of here, you want to talk about tacos at the Tequila Fest in October?
I mean, yeah, that's going to be fun for me, man. I'm excited for Tacos y Tequila. When Bobby D hit me up about that, I was excited. I was like, yo, I'm coming back to San Antonio. I haven't performed in San Antonio in a while. I want to say the last time was probably about maybe 3 years ago.
Okay.
I think the last time I was here. So this is going to be really, really cool. I mean, it's T.I., Fat Joe, Chingy Too Short, Petey Pablo, Ying Yang Twins, my brother Baby Bash.
Yeah.
Let's see, it says DJ Ashton Martin.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be really, really dope, man. I can't wait to perform for the people here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
You guys always show me so much love. And San Antonio is just like my second home, bro. I say that to Houston. I say that to basically every single city here in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
Texas is my second home.
Talk about it, yeah.
It really is. It really is.
For sure.
California kid, but Texas is like, man, I live here now. I just bought a house in Houston, so
oh yeah,
I'm out there in Houston now.
Nice,
so I'm a Texas boy again, and I live here. I love it. I can't get away from Texas.
Nah, for sure. That's dope.
Well, let me ask you this real quick, man.
Yeah.
you being Cali boy and raised. And tacos.
Tacos. Yes.
Where we at with it? You on that side or you on this side? Who got the better tacos?
Let me sit up. Let me sit up real quick. Let me lean in. What
because there's
wow.
I know the right answer. I'm just waiting on you.
Because that's a serious beef right now. Is like who has the best tacos?
Okay, look. Have you guys ever been to Mexico?
Absolutely.
Mexico is the one that has the authentic tacos.
100%. Yes.
I'm gonna tell you right now. What's closer to Mexico? San Diego. San Diego, right? That's where I was born.
Right.
I mean, that's where I was raised. I was born in Tijuana.
Yeah.
So I always had the tacos from Tijuana, and I always had the tacos from San Diego. They're the same.
Sure.
Okay.
So it's a very different taste. Now, when I come to Texas, the tacos in Texas are different. They have a different taste. Over there, we have carne asada. Here, we have carne guisada, which I love both. But we have fajitas here, right? In Texas, and in California, it's just carne asada or pollo, right? Mm-hmm. So, to be honest, when it comes to the taste, I'm very like, I'll be very, very honest with you guys when it comes to the tacos here and it comes to the tacos over there, because I was raised with the tacos in California, and from Mexico, I'm gonna choose that. I'm gonna choose Tijuana.
Right on.
Right on. Hometown for sure.
Because it's also and that's what I knew as a kid. But I do love the tacos here. There's a place called Velvet Taco.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
I haven't, but I'm familiar with it.
Go check them out. I should probably be getting paid for a little bit of that. Velvet Taco, send me a check.
Yeah.
No, but dude, they have some amazing tacos.
Really?
Really good tacos. Texas.
Okay.
good tacos.
Yeah.
Go check them out.
Okay. Check out Velvet
I
Taco.
won't steer you wrong.
No,
I won't steer you wrong.
I respect
I'm telling
that.
you.
I've been to Velvet Taco, but it feels a little bit more corporate. But you know, I mean, you've been to Tijuana where like.
Did you have the one with the chipotle sauce on them? Shrimp?
I'm pretty sure I've had Chipotle at some
Sound
point.
like you about to turn. Look, this one right off of I-10. I-10 to 1604.
No,
right
we're
by
gonna
Top
swing
Golf.
it because I had it in Austin, but Austin's different.
No,
Austin's different.
Go to Houston.
Okay.
Check them out in Houston.
But no,
Okay.
I agree with what you're saying. And my last question in regards to that is guisada con queso or sin queso?
Con queso, bro.
Oh, come on. Hey, we with it. We good. We back. We
Guisada
back.
con queso. I don't care if it gives you the...
Hey,
It don't matter, bro.
listen, you live once. You enjoy it.
You only live once.
Right on, man.
For sure, man.
I respect that for sure, man. And before one last thing for me.
Yeah.
There was a record you did with one of my favorite artists, man.
XB Valentine, come on, man.
I can't go without mentioning her, man.
Sola.
Man, listen.
Shout out to XB Valentine, man.
She's so dope. And, this song here.
Yo, this record is fire, man.
Bro, listen.
This record is fire.
Big fan. I mean,
Don't sleep on this record.
absolutely not. And hey, low key, we got a little ahead of schedule. You know, shout out Smooth, he threw it our way.
Yeah.
And I heard it, man. And when I heard you come on, or you doing the hook and XB doing what she does, and her flipping it, because before I used to always think if she flipped it in Spanish, it's a whole nother dimension to her game. Because I met her, you know, rapping, or I got introduced to her with the rapping and all that in English. But when I heard that, I didn't even know she could do Spanish. Like, I knew she was Mexican and all that, but like I didn't, you know, it doesn't necessarily translate to being able to do it in Spanish.
Right.
But when I heard her do it seamlessly, and you, bro, shout out to XB, man, for real.
Nah, for real. She's nice.
Don't sleep on this record, man. And you know, shout out to XB, man. She did a great job on these verses. And there was another person that actually helped her write, I think, the verses in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name. But Smooth was the one that sent me this track with XB already on it. And he goes, bro, it needs a hook. Can you write a hook for this?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, let me see if I can come up with something. And I went to Fort Worth, and I was there with Chico, the engineer. And I was like, yo, let me write something to this. I think I can pull this off, you know?
Yeah.
And right there, man, I wrote the hook, wrote it on the spot, and that was it. I was like, yo, this thing is crazy.
Yeah.
And it sounded really clean. It sounded really good, the way he recorded me and all that good stuff. And yeah, it turned out to be this. And we just shot the video recently, so don't sleep on the record. Go check it out.
Yeah.
My girl, XB Valentine, and yours truly, your brother Frankie J. We on this record called Sola.
Yeah.
And I hope y'all like it.
XB, what up, man? Oh, yeah, now this is a dope record. Man, so, Scrooge, you got any more questions, dog?
Man, a lot, but we gonna let them. We
Yeah,
gonna
we gonna
skate.
yeah, man, because I know you probably got, you know, records
We
to
gonna
create.
link up. Nah, we gonna link up
again.
again.
tomorrow, man.
There you go. We gonna link up again though, man. At tacos and
Yeah,
tequila
for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But
10-5.
Freaky, we appreciate you pulling up, man, and sitting down talking to us and all that.
Thanks for having me, man.
No,
This
for
was a
sure. So
pleasure.
before we get out of here, is there any way they can find you? You know, where can they find you at social media and all that? Let them know. Let the people know.
Yeah, so my Instagram is The Real Frankie J. My TikTok is also The Real Frankie J. My Facebook is Frankie J Official. What is it now? Twitter, X.
Yeah.
It's at The Real Frankie J. Snapchat, I don't really use it, but I'll go in there every now and then. It's The Real Frankie J. All of them, you'll find me there. It's really me most of the time, hitting everybody up. I know there's a lot of these, you know, accounts that are coming out that are supposedly it's me. No, I only have one account, and they all got the blue checks. And if they do have a blue check, make sure it's got the followers, the amount of followers that it's got, because be careful with all those people out there asking for money and who knows what else.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there doing bad stuff, so
because Frankie J
follow me on my accounts.
Frankie J is not going to message you talking about, hey, I need $20 to finish this tour.
Hell no. I'm gonna ask you guys where can I get the best tacos in,
you know what I'm saying?
In town.
No, but shoot, man, I appreciate you sitting down, man. Thank you so
Thanks
much,
again,
brother.
bro. I
Nah,
appreciate
man,
it.
thank you. Squirrels, where can they find you at, bro?
I mean, hopefully here, man. If I can get Frankie to, you know what I'm saying, throw me a little acoustic something.
Hey, man, look, I'm with it. And you can find me not only here at Mozzie's World Official, but you're definitely going to see me at Ritama Park for Tacos and Tequila Fest, October 5th. You know what I mean? It's going down. And be sure to get the new single, Never Giving Up on You, out on all DSPs now. You know what I mean?
Sir.
So your boy Mozzie, Skrills, everybody here, Frankie J, we'll holler at y'all, man.
Let's
Peace.
go.
Maserati.
So focused, I just need some meaning to my name. Plus I'm cheating with these codes. If you thinking it's a game, that's real talk. Man. This